Good morning, gentlemen. Again, I'm coming to you from Majma University, the Deanship of the Common Year, and we are continuing with the online version of our English Second Language course. I am your teacher, Dale Warren, and again we are covering speaking, and today we are doing Unit 3.8 of Level 3. Again, we are using the normal textbook, Q Skills for Success, Book 3, Listening and Speaking, and it is the book with the green picture on the cover. If you don't have the book in front of you, please pause the video for a moment and go and fetch it because we will be needing it. Okay. You should all now have the book. And our lesson contents for today are the simple past tense and the present perfect tense on page 165, and then clarification on page 168. Our homework today will be clarification on page 168, and it will be exercise A, but we will cover that later. All right. So, okay, we are kicking off with the simple past tense and the past perfect tense on page 165. So please all make sure that your books are open at page 165 and the section of the book we're looking at looks like that. Okay. Let us start with a little bit of basic revision. The simple past tense is made by changing the form of the present tense verb. And we usually change that form by adding certain endings such as D or ED or RED. Not all verbs take a different ending in the simple past. Some verbs, the irregular verbs, change their form entirely. Now, because the irregular verbs do not follow a rule when they make their past tense form, they have to be memorized. You have to learn their forms in the present and their forms in the past. All right, we covered the simple past tense on page 16 of Learning and Speaking Book 1. So I'm not going to go into detail on it today. If you do not remember how to make it or when we use it, then please get Learning and Speaking Book number 1 out again. Have a look at page 16 where it speaks of the simple past tense and go through it again so that you are familiar with it. All right, the other tense which we are looking at again today is the present perfect tense, which we have also done before, but if I can just jog your memory here, the present perfect in its singular forms are you, he, she, and it, and its plural forms we and they, is made as follows, with the verb have or has plus the past participle. All right. The present perfect tense is made with either the auxiliary verb have or the auxiliary verb has, and then the past participle of the main verb. Okay. So if we look at the singular forms first, if the subject is I, we will say I have, and then the past participle of call is called. I have called. If the subject is you, we use the auxiliary verb have again. Our main verb is fail, and the past participle of fail is failed. So we will say you have failed. Now, when we come to he, she, and it, please remember, you do not use have, you use has, and then again we have the past participle of the main verb. So if our main verb is eat, the past participle is eaten. When we come to we, again we say we have as the auxiliary verb. And if our main verb is speak, then our past participle is spoken. We have spoken. If we come to they, again the auxiliary verb is have. And if the main verb is fall, the past participle of fall is fallen. So it's very simple to conjugate. You just must remember we have to use two forms, have and has. Has is always used with he, she, or it, and all the other subjects will take have as the auxiliary verb when we make the present perfect tense. Okay. Now, let us see when we use these two tenses. Let us look first of all at the past simple tense. We use it, number one, for actions that began and finished in the past. So to give you an example, Kate worked in Paris. Kate used to work in Paris some time back, but not now. So she started working in Paris in the past, and she finished working in Paris in the past. So you use the past simple tense for an action that began in the past and also finished in the past. Now, we also use the past simple tense for an action that happened at a specific time in the past. That word specific means definite. We know definitely that time. So if I say Jalal got married at 16, we know the time he got married. The specific time he got married was when he was 16. When he was 16 was a definite time in the past. a specific time in the past. So when we use a specific time in the past, then we will use the past perfect tense. The past simple tense, I beg your pardon. Got, which is the past simple of the verb to get. We also use the past simple tense with certain time expressions such as last, ago, in, or on. So it happened last week. They left London in December. We went on holiday 4 months ago. We could say, I did it on the weekend. Or I did it on Friday. We are using those specific time expressions. And when we do that, and it's for something that happened in the past, then we will use the past simple tense. Okay. So remember that. 3 specific uses of the past simple tense. Number 1, for actions that began and also finished in the past. For an action at a specific time in the past. And if you didn't know what that word specific means, it means definite, a definite time in the past. And we use it with the time expressions last, ago, in, and on. Okay. Now, uses of the present perfect tense. We use the present perfect tense for actions at an unspecified time in the past. The time is not defined. I do not know the exact time. All right. So if I say Anwar has lived in Canada, he lived in Canada for some time in the past, but the time is not specified. I don't know if he lived in Canada for 3 years. I don't know if he lived there from 2011 to 2012. All I know is that he lived in Canada, but there is no specified time. If I knew the time, then I would use the past simple. I would say, Anwar lived in Canada for 3 years, because there we have a specified time. But if we don't have a specified time, if we just know Anwar lived in Canada, then we will more likely say Anwar has lived in Canada. We also use the past perfect for actions that started in the past and are still going on today. So if I say Magda has worked in Majma many years now, it's past perfect. It has the word has and the past participle. Sorry, not past perfect, present perfect. Present perfect. Just as this has lived is present perfect, has plus the past participle. If I say Magda has worked in Majma many years now, it means she started working in Majma many years ago. It's an action that started in the past. And she is working there now still. It is an action that is still going on today. So for an action that started in the past and it is still happening today, we will use the present perfect tense. With the time expressions for and since, we will also use the present perfect. Ben has been. Been is the past participle of the verb to be, and we're using has, so it is the present perfect. Ben has been secretly married for a long time. Jalal has. Dieted is the past participle of the verb to diet, so it's present perfect. Jalal has dieted strictly ever since the doctor told him to. So those are the three most common occasions when you will use the present perfect tense. Okay. What I need you all to do is go in your books to the exercise at the top of page 166. This exercise here. And if you look at the exercise, you will see that there are 6 sections that have been underlined. Now, each of those has firstly the past simple tense and secondly the present perfect tense. So did is the past simple of the verb to do. Have is the present tense of have, and would be used with entered. We understand that it's being used here with entered. Came is the past simple of come. Have come is the present perfect. So in each case, the first option is the past simple, and the second is the present perfect. What I want you to do is read through the passage, and on each occasion you need to circle which is the correct option. Now, when you decide which is the correct option, before you decide, look and see the 3 reasons for which we use the past simple, and then look and see the 3 reasons for which we would use the present perfect, and then decide on each of those occasions which would be the correct option. Okay, please pause your video, and when you have done the 6 answers, then please restart the video. All right, you should all have restarted your video. Let us go through. Hey Kevin, great shot. You know you're a pretty good tennis player. Have you ever entered any tennis competitions? The answer here is the present perfect. The reason we are using the present perfect is reason 2. Actions that started in the past and are still going on today. So here's asking Kevin, have you ever entered any tennis competition from the past right up until today? And because Kevin is answering a question in the present perfect, answer number 2 should be also the present perfect. The question, number 1, covered the time from the past right up until the present. And the answer in number 2 also covers the time from the past right up until the present. So both of them should be present perfect because you use the present perfect for an action that started in the past and goes right up until the present. All right, yes, I have. Actually, I came in second in the senior tournament at our club last year. Okay. In number 3, we use the past simple. And the reason we use the past simple is because the past simple is used for a specific time in the past. So, okay, the past simple is used when we speak of a specific time in the past. And if you look here, he says last year, which is a specific time in the past. Now, number 4 will be, did you enjoy it? Now, the reason number 4 is did you enjoy it, which is past simple, is because number 4 is now referring back to last year, and last year is a specific time in the past. So, answer refers back to what happened last year, which is a specific time in the past. Alright, so it must also go into the past simple because it's referring back to a specific time in the past. Okay. Number 5. Sure, especially because it was my first attempt. How about you? Alright. Number 5 is still referring back to what happened last year. And because it is still referring back to what happened last year, which is a specific time in the past, we have to use the past simple again. And number 6. All right, let's just carry on. Kevin, sure, especially because it was my first attempt. How about you? I play in a small local league, but I haven't won any competitions or anything. I just play for fun to keep fit and healthy. Okay. Here the answer is present perfect, because Ashley is still playing in a small local league, and up to today he hasn't won anything. So we use present perfect for actions that started in the past but are carrying on until today. Remember that? Present perfect. The uses of the present perfect. Number 2 is for actions that started in the past and are still going on today. He started playing for that team in the past. He's still playing there today, but he hasn't won up until today. So we will use the present perfect. All right. So number 6 is present perfect for an action that started in the past and that is continuing right up until today. Okay. If you don't have the correct answers, please circle the correct answers in your book and then pause the video a minute and go back and read through the 6 reasons that we chose the tenses which we actually chose, because you need to know why it is that those were the correct options. All right. Our next section today is clarification, which is on page 168. And the section that we are looking at specifically looks like that. So I do need you all to go quickly in your books to page 168. All right, before I go into the details, I just need to know that all of you understand what that word clarification actually means. To start with, please all just say after me, clarification, clarification. All right. To clarify means to make something clear. It means to explain something. So really, a clarification is just an explanation. It is making something clear. So if somebody does not understand, we give him a clarification. We explain to him, we make something clear. Now, in English, if I don't understand, there are certain phrases I can use to tell the other person I don't understand. It is not clear to me. And there are certain phrases the other person can use to let me know that he is going to give me an explanation. All right. So if something is unclear for me, I can ask for an explanation by saying something along these lines. I don't understand, or I don't understand clearly, or I don't understand fully, or I don't understand properly, but it's quite all right just to say, I don't understand. I can also say, sorry, I didn't follow you. That means I don't understand. What do you mean exactly? Could you say a bit more about, and then you just tell the person what it is that you're confused about? Could you give me some examples? And I can say, sorry, I don't get what you mean. There are other things I could say, like, I'm sorry, I am confused. Anything like that will tell the person I am asking for an explanation. I do not understand. Now, if somebody is confused and I want to give him an explanation, then to let him know that I am now explaining things, what I will say to him is something along these lines. What I'm trying to say is, what I mean is, to give you an example, for instance, and if you don't know what for instance means, for instance means the same as for example. It means exactly the same. I can say to explain, I can say to put it in other words. So there are lots of phrases that I can use in English to ask for an explanation and to give an explanation. Okay. All right. Now, the book does not give quite so many examples, and the ones that they do give are here. So the ones that they are using are, sorry, I don't get what you mean. What do you mean exactly? Could you say a bit more about, or can you give an example? And those are all used when we want to ask for clarification. And then to let the reader know that you are now giving clarification, you can say, what I'm trying to say, or to give you an example, or I mean, and any one of those would be fine. All right. Now, our homework for today is the exercise below, page 168A. And what I need you to do, it is a listening exercise. And the missing phrases, which will be on page 168, and also on page 169, are all coming from this list over here. These 4 phrases to ask for clarification and those for giving clarification. So what I need you all to do, please all have your pens in hand. We are going to listen to the discussion. And when we've listened, I will read it again if you didn't get the tape recorded audio. And that will be the homework. All right.
Unit 8. Speaking Skill. Activity A. 1.
So you need to make sure the success you're aiming for is achievable.
Sorry, I don't get what you mean.
What I'm trying to say is, be realistic with the goals you set for yourself.
2.
Success in one area can bring problems in others.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, to give you an example, someone can be at the top of her career, but her family life might be in crisis as a result.
3.
Keep your desire for success in proportion.
Do you think you could say a bit more about that?
Yes. I mean, don't let your desire for success become greater than other important areas in your life.
4.
Our definition of success alters with age.
Can you give an example, please?
Sure. Someone of 20 might view success as being rich, but at 50, that same person might think of success as a happy family life.
All right, everybody, I'm going to read it again if the tape recording was not 100% clear. And remember, the answers all come from this list here and this list here. Okay, let us start. Number 1. So you need to make sure the success you're aiming for is achievable. Sorry, I don't get what you mean. What I'm trying to say is be realistic with the goals you set for yourself. Number 2, success in one area can bring problems in others. What do you mean exactly? Well, to give you an example, someone can be at the top of her career, but her family life might be in crisis as a result. Number 3, keep your desire for success in proportion. Do you think you could say a bit more about that? Yes, I mean, don't let your desire for success become greater than other important areas in your life. Number 4, our definition of success alters with age. Can you give me an example, please? Sure. Someone of 20 might view success as being rich, but at 50, that same person might think of success as a happy family life. All right, everybody, if you didn't get all the answers, just move the video back 2 minutes and listen again. What I need you to do, fill in the missing words. Take a photograph of the exercise when you have done it. Attach the photo. To an email and head the email homework. Send the email to your speaking teacher. Right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And that is the unit for today.